I was reading the original story of Pinocchio to my own kids. And it struck me reading the original how much of a biblical worldview it started off with. And the idea that we're born with a rebellious nature.
You're not the boss of me. I don't have to listen to anybody.
It really pointed to the need of listening to your father, listening to your loving parent, and having them guide you. And so that just struck me. I thought it would be really great to take that and turn it into a VeggieTales episode with our own kind of VeggieTales twist.
Once upon a time, in the small Italian town of Bologna Salami,
Hey, buongiorno! What are you doing in the pizzeria?
there lived a lonely toy maker named Gelato.
Just because I talk to toys doesn't make me lonely.
Well, Pistachio starts off as a block of wood. Gelato, he's a wood carver, carves toys. So he takes the wood and carves it into the shape of a little boy who looks like Junior Asparagus. We come to find that Pistachio is a rebellious little boy who wants what he wants when he wants it. And he goes off in search of fun and adventure and fortune, and along the way gets himself into a lot of trouble.
No strings!
Huh?
A puppet with no strings! If you were in the show, I'd be rich!
We called Mark Steele up, who we had worked with previously on Abe and the Amazing Promise and Boo Booville and on St. Nicholas, and he just did an amazing job.
Our story morally centers around Jesus' parable in Matthew chapter 18 about the lost sheep and the shepherd.
When Pistachio did whatever he wanted to do and didn't listen to Gelato, he ended up in big trouble.
We think it's going to be a great way for parents to open up conversation with their kids about the importance of listening to what they have to say.
Just pictures? Boring.
You'll see, Pistachio. There's nothing like art to help you find your way. Hey, Art!
Aye, what's up, Gelato?
Well, Larry the Cucumber plays Gelato, the father of Pistachio. We had a lot of fun with these Italian names. He looks like a professional yodeler. And then, of course, our lead is Junior Asparagus as Pistachio, the wood carving. Along the way, we have the Scallions playing the fox and the cat. We have Mr. Nezer. And then we also have Khalil from Jonah, a VeggieTales movie, is back as Cricket. That's his name. He's not actually a cricket, he's a caterpillar. And then we have the ducklings. Our ducklings are very skilled at many things, one of which is Monopoly. These are advanced ducklings.
That's $1,500, please.
What we wanted to do was draw that parallel between Gelato as the creator of Pistachio. He carved him out of wood. He loved him. He wanted what was best for him. Much the same way that God created us, He loves us and wants what's best for us, and as the Good Shepherd will come and seek us out when we get ourselves into trouble.
Like any good shepherd, I love all my children the same. That means you, and Pistachio too. I won't rest until we're all home, no matter what.
Our Heavenly Father loves us and wants what's best for us, so that's why we should listen to Him. And so I just think that whole model of the loving father, the loving parent, is a really important thing for kids to have.
You know, this song is written from God's perspective. I so much wanted to capture that moment where a person realizes how beautiful he really thinks she is, and how brokenhearted it must be for him when his own creation is so unhappy with the work he's done.
I must be the most beautiful. The key to beauty?
The mirror throughout the whole story intrigued me and ended up being a pretty central part of the song.
Let me help you. You will once again be the most fair of all.
Oh!
We all want to believe in the improvements that we can make that the mirror subtly or not so subtly suggests, and it's very difficult to walk away.
Something not quite right about that mirror.
In full disclosure, even getting ready for this being on camera talking about this topic, you know, the irony was not lost on me that I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what I should wear and who's going to do the makeup and who's going to fix my hair. And now that my hair's fixed, is this hair out of place? And I like my bangs better that way. And you know, it's never ending. The voice is never ending.
But you might not hold a candle to the rest. Is that your best? Says the mirror to the mess.
I can stand in front of the mirror all day long and like what I see or not like what I see, or lose 5 pounds or gain 25 pounds or cut my hair short or dye it brown. I want a heart that's captivating. It has to be about that.
'Cause everything about you is incredible. You should have seen me smile the day that I made you beautiful for me.
Initially, it was beautiful to me. And then I thought, you know what? Just that one change to make it for me, beautiful for me, that's all about belonging. You belong to me. I created you to be beautiful for me and me alone, and I thought that was an important distinction.
Daughter, I am the king, and I made you that way. I delight in your beauty. You're wonderfully made. I knew you before Earth's foundation was laid.
The importance of learning how to see ourselves through the eyes of our Creator, to see us the way He sees us. And that's what VeggieTales have done for my kids and just a couple others around the country.
Father!
Howdy, Sweetpea, Prince Larry. Could you give me a hand moving a chunk of the castle?
Dads are the first hero in a little girl's eyes and in their life. The way that he interacts with her and shows her how beautiful she is on the inside.
What does that mean?
It means there are more important things than how you look on the outside.
Let this be a conversation starter. Sit down, watch it together. Talk about maybe how you felt, Mom, growing up, and what were some things that you weren't crazy about the way you looked. Our daughters are going to be bombarded with images all day long, and so as moms, we really don't have the luxury of just sitting back and hoping that they, you know, feel okay about themselves and not really being proactive about helping them understand what true beauty is about.
God says that outward beauty will not last, but beauty on the inside is what truly matters.
Don't listen to her.
That's far more important than how you look, don't you think?
Folding 8 loads of laundry doesn't really garner the same enthusiasm as, my mom's gonna have a song on VeggieTales. So it's fun. It's just a complete treat and an honor for me to be a part of it.
I felt like it was Christmas morning. You know, I'm getting to do something with VeggieTales, getting to write a song, you know, directly for it, which I love to do. And I've always had that sort of elusive end title. I've always wanted to get a song that's the end title of a movie. Finally, my moment comes, you know, and it's so appropriate. It's VeggieTales.
Have we got a show for you?
Yeah, we got quite a long history together, me and the Veggie folks.
Look at us. It's just like old times.
It's a whole different creative process to sort of look at a story. What I do is I find kind of the places where, oh, that's me in that story. Larry, you know, in this role of Stuart is an adoptive father. And so that's the immediate connect for me as an adoptive dad. And then once I've connected to that, the inspiration, you know, comes real natural, because that's how I write all my songs.
You are meant to be touching the lives that you touch, and meant to be here making this world so much more than it would be without you in it.
When they mentioned having, you know, one of my daughters do the voice of Emma, the rhubarb, I knew it had to be Stevie Joy, because she's just got this sweet little tiny voice. She's tiny. She's 7, but she's about the size of about a 4-year-old.
Why does there have to be boys?
An age-old question.
Now she's like, yes, you'll have to speak to my agent about that. I think I'm busy. And where's my limo? You know, she's, you know. So, but she's had a lot of fun with it. It was great fun. As I started to think about this story and how it does relate to especially the life of this little Emma the rhubarb, who is an adoptive daughter, what do I want to try to say to these children, especially to children, you know, that would wonder, does my life have any meaning? All those kind of questions. And to be able to say to them, you know, you were meant to be touching every life, you know, that you touch. I mean, and I think about even, you know, our daughter that is now in heaven, Maria. You know, she has touched the lives of so many people, millions of people, you know, through her story.
Mom and Dad, when I'm sad, you're so proud of me.
When we adopted our first daughter, Shohana, we came home, flew from Beijing, China to Nashville, Tennessee, and we got off the airplane, and there were about 200 people there to greet us and welcome us home. I mean, friends and family. And before we got out of the airport with our little girl to go home, we had several families come to us and say, we would love to adopt a child. That's a dream, a desire in our hearts, but it costs a lot of money and we just can't afford it. We realized we got to help these families. Out of that, something kind of grew called Show Hope. It was just a way for us to help families and help these children come together and become a family.
Daddy! Art, Barney, Emma, I missed you guys.
This little girl was put in our arms, and in an instant, that was the clearest moment that I think I'll ever have of really seeing what God has done for us in creating us and then sending His Son to give us hope, to give us life, to call us His children.
Did you see me, Dad? You told me to pay more attention on the field. Did you see me pay more attention?
Ow! Ouch. You're still on the field, son.
I think it's real easy for us all to understand that when the good things are happening, yeah, that was meant to be. You know, I'm meant to be succeeding. Stuart finds out in this movie, and what I was hoping to communicate in this song is even those things that seem like mistakes, because God is good, we know that He's able to even take those things and make something really good out of them.
The fact that I am sitting here right now saying, hi, I'm Cassie Cassava, I'm a veggie, that's the coolest thing ever. I was like, if anybody needs me to play broccoli or I don't, you know, it just doesn't matter. I love the VeggieTales. I feel like this is almost cooler than American Idol. Don't tell anybody.
If Up with Bunnies is going to be a success, we need a star.
I walked into the little booth and thought, okay, what do I need to do to be Cassie? And the coolest thing about her is that she's so much like me that most of the things she said, I would totally say. And she's been on this show, you know, she wins, so that's a little different. But she wins this show and everything changes around her. All of a sudden, she's going back to her hometown and it's huge.
Cassie Cassava, here, tonight?
2 tickets, please!
I have definitely been in situations where people really want to help, but they just don't know what to do. They think that maybe this is the way, you know, maybe if we do a huge production, this is really going to help. With this story, they learn that you can help the person next door to you. It's something so simple.
Earth and heaven in chorus say, Alleluia.
My very favorite moment when Cassie is trying to sing the Up with Bunnies song, that she's trying to make it work, but not really understanding what's going on. She's all like dressed up cute and everybody's dressed up like bunnies and it's just a big hot mess, but she's really trying to make it work.
Bunny! Bunny!
Actually, the musical highlight for me was on Up with Bunnies. We get to the end and they're like, I think I just want you to ad-lib about bunnies. And that was probably the most fun thing I think I've ever done. And I think I ended up with Come On With Your Bunnies, or something like that, just something silly.
Oh, wow! She's amazing! Wow!
It's probably the most perfect pairing for World Vision and VeggieTales to come together on a project about helping others. And I think that World Vision, just in giving you the opportunity to sponsor a child and giving you the opportunity to help them live their life to the fullest and to get the best out of life, I just think it's such an amazing thing.
That was a real nice story, Bob.
Thanks, Larry.
And a great reminder of what's most important about Easter.
This is amazing. I love the way VeggieTales takes a story and in a very fun way lets you know what the right thing to do is. I love me a chocolate bunny any day. So I love the candy and all of that, but also I've been a part of being able to make a difference. And that is more rewarding than any chocolate bunny I think I've ever had. There really is a reason for this holiday, and there is a celebration in the life of Jesus that is just amazing.
Because this is an egg that reminds us that Jesus' tomb was empty on that first Easter morning.
I love children so much. They don't have barriers or boundaries to their thought process and what they think can actually happen. Anything is possible, and your imagination is a great thing. VeggieTales to me is just a perfect picture of that. And then at the end of the day, still tells you a practical lesson.
Will you forgive me for tricking you into singing in my show?
Of course I will. Hey, if you don't count the building falling down, it was kind of fun. The songs in this show are very true to Veggie form. It's got those things that stick with you, and then you realize, wait a minute, I'm singing about helping somebody. There's this one line in there that just says, helping one another is one big old reason why we're here. And I love that. Sometimes I wonder, why did I go through this American Idol experience? Why did I become a singer? What am I doing with this? What is the reason behind it? And I'm quickly beginning to see that there are so many ways that you can help people with this platform that your school or your job gives you. There are so many ways, and I love that that's in the song.
I think about it. He's the reason why we serve. Oh, yeah. When I think about Easter, yeah.
The show kind of really started with the title. We knew we wanted to make a show about a pop star.
Oh, I'm a huge Mark Twain fan. Part of the development was trying to nail down, okay, how are we going to retell this story, Prince and the Pauper, where you have two very different characters from two very different backgrounds who envy each other's lives.
I wish I were you, and I wish I were you, and we look exactly the same. Why don't we give it a try?
So one thing that was really important to me was that the voice of Vanna when she sings be something that you kind of instantly believe as the voice of someone who could really be a pop star. After weeks of auditioning people, Mariah came in. From the moment she started singing, I was like, oh, this is it! Oh, it's so exciting!
My dinner's one huge chocolate bar. Diamonds and jet planes, I'm a star, yeah.
It was just such fun hearing her put her really great sounding voice and her professionalism into these songs, and it just brought them to life in a way that was just even more than I'd hoped for.
I slept with the songs that I needed to audition with because I thought it would be really cool if I got to do this. It's so surreal. I grew up watching VeggieTales. My favorite episode is Mad and Blueberry.
And now.
I'm so blue, I don't know what to do.
Oh, snap!
The lesson that we wanted to get to was that God has a very specific plan for each of our lives. God created Princess to be Princess, and He created Vanna to be Vanna.
God is the only person that we can actually look at and say, I want to be like you, and it actually turn around and make that who He's called us to be.
Realizing that God created you really specifically to fit into where you are, and that nothing about you is an accident.
We've reached London, England. Let's see if we can give you a better view.
In this episode, we get to meet a couple of new characters. First off, of course, is Sarah Crew.
Sarah's a very intelligent and articulate girl. Oh, but it's so exotic. Every French word is a thing of beauty. Every French word is a thing of beauty.
VeggieTales has always been a very big deal in my life. To get the opportunity to do this was really exciting, and it was very, very fun being in the process of, storyboards and recording, and then seeing stuff all put together. It's amazing.
I am Headmistress Minchin.
Opposite Sarah, we've got Miss Minchin. Her model's actually based on Miss Ackmetha, but we have a whole new voice for her. Her voice was done by an actress named Marin Miller. Marin actually came in to audition for Sarah. She said, well, I'd love to audition for Minchin. And she started doing this crazy British voice.
My patience has run out with you, Miss Crew. What is it going to require for me to teach you that you are not an exception?
She just immediately felt like a VeggieTales character.
I'm Ermengarde, but you can call me Ermi.
Ermi is fantastic. You know, you kind of wait for her to come on screen and just be outlandish.
The classics. They are so very classy.
One of the really fun things about this show is that it's based on a classic piece of literature, but Sarah as a character is also a reader, and so she's got this library full of books in her room.
I love to read. It's like an adventure on every page. It's like school on every page.
But Sarah encourages Ermi and shows her the worlds that books can unlock.
Sure, if you try, you will see what I can see.
One of the things that we love to do at VeggieTales is to make sure that we've got those songs that they're really singable and fun, and it's a song that kids enjoy singing, but as they sing it, they're reinforcing these really great biblical lessons. My favorite song is Little Princess.
If your dreams live or die, you'll be.
This is the true essence of what VeggieTales has said for all of its years. God made you special, and He loves you very much. And in this case, it's this little girl who Larry is saying, you're my princess, and I'll always love you no matter what. And then God even goes further than that.
It's really a story of how Sarah retains all that her dad had taught her and had built into her. And who you are on the inside, you know, as VeggieTales tells it, is so rooted in knowing that we are a beloved child of God.
It is God the Father to whom you belong.
No matter what comes to mind, as I wasn't really thinking that that was the main theme. It was interesting because I see a little girl here with a lot of perseverance.
Keeping on, someone who's loving all, no matter what.
A lot of inspiration about, you know, how do you live your life in difficult situations.
Life's much more an adventure when you imagine with me.
I really like the song Imagine With Me for two reasons. The two characters, it brought them together in imagining together these little worlds. And secondly, taking them out of their real world when times were tough or when they needed something to look forward to.
Sarah is a queen of being able to take something that other people would view as an icky situation, imagining. That's a fun way to take situations that might be unpleasant and making them exciting.
Mike first presented doing this Best Friends Forever, BFF, and I laughed and then was a little bit nervous because I didn't understand what he was saying.
My BFFLNMWG, I think you're swell.
I just thought it'd be fun to try to work as many of those into a song and a rhyme as possible.
Well, one thing that was obvious to us with the song is that it wasn't enough just to have the girls singing the words, because most of the words are letters and it didn't make sense if you don't know what the letters meant.
I heard you too, what's the L-I-U-B-G-B-W?
When we were working through the story to try to find what the nugget of truth is, the thing that we really wanted to communicate, what we landed on was that God loves you no matter what.
The key to her is that she knows that no matter what, she's a beloved child of God.
I really am excited for my little girls to look at her and say, no, here's a girl who loves others beautifully.
I hope parents walk away with just this idea that I can model that to my children, that I will love you no matter what, which is a reflection of God's love for us.
Everyone is going to take away something different from this show, and I think it's going to mean a lot to a lot of different people.
God's little princess.
Hey kids, this is your friend Larry the Cucumber. Do you want to know how a house gets built on a firm foundation? All right then, let's talk to some real builders and find out.
Hi, my name's Andrew, and I'm a builder.
Hi, my name's Joey, and I'm a builder.
Hey guys, I'm Larry, and I play a builder on TV. So, Joey, how'd you get started?
I've been in construction for 12 years, and I started early on at 21 years old as a project manager. Started learning about plans and drawings and all the things that go into building a building and construction.
Cool. How about you, Andrew?
The job that I'm in now is a project manager for a commercial construction company. I've been doing for about 3.5 years.
What kinds of things do you build?
I build lots of doctor's offices, I build churches, I build multifamily homes, and I build places like banks and grocery stores.
So what made you want to go into construction?
As a kid, I always loved playing with Legos or building sandcastles. I always loved putting the little plastic building pieces together and having that sheet of paper telling me what it was supposed to look like, following those directions, and then it ending up with some sort of contraption.
What are you working on right now?
This is an eye doctor's office. And I met with the doctor early on, and we started talking about what her dreams were for what her building would look like, how it would come together, what would it look like when people drove by down the street, so that when people needed their eyes fixed, they could come see her. So this has been one of my favorite projects.
So how do you figure out how you're supposed to be building something?
When we're building a building, we start with a plan, and we know based on the engineers who are the guys who will really determine what material is suited for building. They tell us what to use. So when we get our plan from them, when we get the blueprints, we know which materials to use.
Bob built with sticks, wood to be exact. More importantly though, he thought long and hard about the best place to build. And having laid a strong foundation, he knew it was the kind of work that lasted.
Does it matter where you put your building?
It's very important to choose your building site, and a lot of things go into choosing your building site. For instance, how flat is it? Are there any holes in your building site? How high is it? And how does it relate to everything around you? So it's very important to pick a site that is suitable for building a building and doesn't have any sinkholes or soft ground, and will be a good spot to put your building, because a building weighs a whole lot.
Whoa, so those heavy buildings have to stand on something strong. Is that where the foundation comes in?
The most important thing is the foundation below the building, because if the foundation is not correct, the building will not stand in place, because a fire could come, a tornado could come, any type of weather or rain or wind could come and blow the building over or push it down.
So when we build a foundation, we're starting in the dirt. And that's really the fun part, because you have all these big bulldozers moving around on site, graders, scrapers, and they may work for months getting the ground level and getting it to a point where you can then excavate.
I start digging the foundation like we're doing here, and I can't stop digging until I know I've hit sturdy ground. These guys here, you can see that they've hit hard ground. See the rock? That's something good to build on, the rock.
The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock.
So we've hit rock, and once we hit that rock and we hit solid ground, and everyone says it's okay to build on, we put reinforcements in place or steel in place to help reinforce the foundation, and we can pour concrete on top of that sturdy ground so everything from the bottom up is very strong and it can stand the test of time.
So the foundation is really important, huh?
The foundation is never really the prettiest part of building, but it is the most substantial. It is the beginning of everything. And without the foundation, you're only gonna have struggles. You're only gonna have frustration later on when you're building. Your building will sink, it'll tilt, it'll crack, it'll fall apart without that foundation that really anchors it into the ground.
Strong in the ground, you stick around.
Wow, sounds like you really have to stick to good plans to build a strong building.
But we have to follow a plan or else it's just not going to go together. It's not going to stand.
You done good, kid. You followed the words in a book.
Wow, that was awesome, guys. Thanks for showing us how important it is to build a house and our lives on a firm foundation. See you next time. Bye!
Yeah, yeah.
I started working with young people from a very young age. My dad moved our small family from Los Angeles to a small town in Atlanta when I was about 2 years old, and he started our church here. And ever since then, I've been very involved at the church. My dad was teaching in church on Sunday mornings. I could be like, well, Dad, I learned that on VeggieTales last week, and I learned how to quote scriptures because it was in a song. And I definitely grew up on VeggieTales to the point where at 15, I had a MySpace group called I Was Raised on VeggieTales and DC Talk, and had quite a bit of members in it, which is kind of embarrassing because I don't even know if Toby Mac knows about that right now.
I'm the kind of girl who seldom likes to ask for much.
I always say that I feel very blessed to have been raised on what my parents called age-appropriate music. And so as a little girl, that music was VeggieTales. Even now, I found myself, the other night before a show, I was kind of stressing out about some stuff just that had happened that day, and was having a hard time getting ready for my show. Literally walking the stage, and I just started singing, "The Lord has given this plan to us, no need to fuss.
He knows what he's doing."
And then I was like, that's VeggieTales. And my sister and I were just saying when we played back the song, and we were like, okay, this is for kids, but it's not kids' music. It's music with an incredible message, and having music in my life that I know is about a relationship that will never let me down, that will never fail me.
We also have enough to share.
I learned how to serve because I saw my parents serving, and I saw them so passionate about serving in the church and serving in the community. So as I grew up, I realized that was something that I wanted to do, and I was already, by the age of 17, working in the church and teaching on Sunday mornings for the little kids. Sometimes people will say that I seem happy all the time, and they ask me why. And I have a really hard time answering that question because I don't think it has anything to do with me. But being someone that is around a lot of young kids all the time, I know how important that message is. Like, sharing is the key. Now when I'm on the road and I'm sharing a tour bus with 11 people, it's like, okay, sharing is the key. So I think that line in itself kind of explains the whole song. Anytime I smile, anytime I laugh, anytime I laugh too long, anytime I am able to get through a show, even if I've had a bad day, I know that joy only comes from the Lord.